Okay, let's unpack this. We're seeing the financial world rushing towards this digital future, right? Stablecoins, programmable money.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, at the same time, gold and silver, the oldest assets, are hitting record highs. It feels like history is repeating itself right now.
It really does. It's clearly a global transition. Analysts like Lynette Zang call it a monetary reset. Her work is interesting because she links what started back in 1914 directly to today's digital dollar race.
That big shift a century ago,
Yeah.
abandoning gold for debt.
Exactly. America went from gold-backed dollars to a system based purely on debt. And, well, we know how that ended, the Great Depression.
And the parallel today is stark,
Mm-hmm.
moving from paper debt to, what, digital debt?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Programmable digital debt. And this brings up a really critical question for you listening right now. If you own physical gold or silver, with gold way up there and silver nearing $50, what are the real opportunities?
And maybe more importantly, the losses. What risks are you facing as this digital system rolls out? Are you ready for what Zhang calls the final chapter?
That's what we want to explore, understanding the mechanics, the history. So if you find this kind of analysis useful, breaking down complex stuff, maybe take a second to subscribe to CredVia. It helps us keep doing this.
Okay, so the old system versus the new. Zhang talks about the 1920s Fed creating money based on debt, not gold.
Right. And that led to this huge flood of easy credit. It created what she calls fake wealth. Wealth built on borrowing, not real production.
And today, same playbook, different tools, tokens, stablecoins.
Exactly the same playbook. It creates this, illusion of safety and illusion of growth, but it shifts the risk onto the public and increases central control massively.
And the scale we're talking about is huge, isn't it? These stablecoins are projected to explode.
Oh, yeah. The numbers are staggering. Some sources say they could go from around $125 billion now to over $2 trillion by 2028. Feels a bit like the rapid push for paper money early last century.
And that system had inflation built in from the start, right? Creating money by borrowing it.
That's the core issue, according to Zhang. You have to keep creating more money just to pay the interest. It guarantees devaluation.
Which, she says, effectively steals your time and your energy.
Yeah, because your labor gets paid in money that's constantly losing value. You run faster just to stay put.
So where are we in that cycle? Is the end near for this fiat experiment?
Well, Zhang maps it out. It kicked off in 1914, stumbled through things like the S&L crisis. But she argues it basically died in 2008, the great financial crisis.
But wait, wasn't the GFC supposedly fixed? Bailouts, regulations?
That's the mainstream story. Zhang's counter is that everything since QE, zero interest rates, bailouts, and it's all just been life support.
Just keeping the corpse walking.
Kind of, yeah. Buying time while they get the next system ready. The digital controlled one.
Okay, that brings us to programmable money. CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. The pitch is efficiency, speed.
That's the pitch. But Zhang sees it very differently. More like monetary surveillance disguised as progress.
Surveillance? What does that mean practically? Like they can stop you buying certain things.
It could be far broader than that. See, a CBDC isn't like cash. It's a direct liability of the central bank. It's programmable.
Meaning they can set rules.
Exactly. Rules like expiry dates, spending restrictions, maybe linking spending to, say, social or environmental compliance. If they control how you spend it, Zhang's warning is blunt. It's not your money.
And she connects this back to the U.S. Constitution, right? Only gold and silver as legal tender.
Yes. The founders knew about currency games. That's why they specified gold and silver. The 1913 Federal Reserve Act, which allowed the shift away from that, Zhang points out it was passed sneakily during a holiday recess.
History rhyming again. Distraction while big changes happen.
It's a pattern. And look at today's banking system. Zero reserve requirements for banks against your deposits.
Zero. So they don't have to hold any of my money.
Technically, no. You're relying on FDIC insurance. But Zhang's analysis suggests the FDIC fund is pretty thin, maybe $1.30 for every $100 insured. It's happening again, big risks hidden while the public looks elsewhere.
So if the debt system is failing and this digital control system is rising, history says gold and silver come back.
That's the argument for sound money. It meets the test that fiat fails. Gold and silver are a unit of account, a medium of exchange, a fair unit of payment because of the work needed to get them.
And crucially, a long-term store of value.
The ultimate store of value. Unlike paper money, you can print endlessly. And the market seems to agree, doesn't it? Gold strong, silver moving up. Big banks like UBS, HSBC, they're forecasting even higher prices.
Which brings us to the big contradiction. central banks.
Ah, yes. The ultimate irony. The same institutions telling us to trust the system are buying physical gold like there's no tomorrow. Record amounts.
Why?
Because they know the debt game is ending, they're hedging their own bets while telling the public everything's fine. If they're preparing, shouldn't you be?
So Zhang's core advice boils down to,
Become your own central bank. Hold physical gold and silver. Not paper promises, not ETFs, not tokens. The actual metal in your possession.
outside the system.
Yeah.
Because of 1933, the confiscation.
That's the historical precedent. FDR's Executive Order 60102. U.S. citizens forced to turn in their gold. Then the government revalued it, wiping out wealth.
And people with paper claims just got devalued paper dollars.
Exactly. Physical control was everything. If you don't hold it, you don't own it when things get rough. History shows that power can be taken if you don't physically possess the asset.
Right. This really feels like, as Zhang puts it, the final chapter of this whole debt experiment. Currencies lose trust, gold asserts itself.
Seems to be the historical pattern. And look, if you want to keep track of these huge shifts, get more context, remember to subscribe to CredVia.
So wrapping up, we need to think about this massive wealth transfer Zhang describes. If the dollar loses its global status, how fast does wealth shift from people holding debt paper, digital, to those holding hard physical assets?
It could be incredibly fast. That's the historical burden, the risk you need to address now.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. These programmable digital currencies, are they just the next step in financial innovation? More efficiency?
Or are they perhaps the final stage of financial control, where technology becomes the ultimate tool of power? Think about it. When the system really shifts, what matters more, digital permission to spend or physical control over real value?